Good morning, YouTube. How's it going? I guess I have to rotate my device. All right, there we go. Good morning, everybody. I hope we have a good connection and everybody is able to get this. It's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, coming to you live out of Boise, Idaho. I first and foremost just want to thank every one of my 1,000, I actually think it's 1,002 subscribers now. Woohoo! Yay! Ah! I'm excited. 1,000 subscribers. That's a goal that I was trying to reach, and we reached that goal. So I'm pretty happy about that. Not much going on today. Just hanging out, getting ready for the next work week and stuff. I still have all that work that I'm catching up on. I don't really have anything new right now coming in, so just doing a bunch of catch up on that stuff and whatnot. But so here's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to go ahead and turn YouTube into a full-time deal, and I think with your support that's what I'm going to do, and constantly post repair videos, information videos, and all that other kind of stuff for you. This is what I do all day, every day for a living. That's not ever going to change. So with that being said, I think it'd be pretty awesome if I can get this YouTube up and running good and everything for the do-it-yourselfers out there. While eating, for example, maybe like what I'm kind of seeing in the future here is you have a project going, but you're at work all week, every day, and hold on a second, there goes my dog. Ruby, come here, Ruby. Ruby. And so, yeah, you have a project going, but you're at work all week. You don't have time to do the research that you need to do or what you want to do. Hey, you can always get a hold of me, find out if it's something that I've done before. If not, find out if I'm able to find out the information that you're looking for that you can't find, all kinds of stuff like that. I'm also hoping to maybe like once a week, and I'm still trying to decide whether it's going to be on a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday. Just diligently do a live feed where we can do questions and answers and stuff. I work on everything, you name it, marine, automotive, electronic, and so there's all kinds of stuff that I've been into, all different types of engines and whatnot that I've been into, situations that I've been into. So I really would love for you guys to come and pick my brain, and also in return allow me to pick your brain. One of my philosophies that I live by is always remain teachable, and I really enjoy learning from you guys and learning and watching the way maybe you might execute a job or do something. And so that's something also that I would like to achieve and do with this. So not much, like I said, there's not a whole lot going on. It snowed yesterday, so the ground's been a little wet. Didn't do too much work. We've got the engine in this 94 Ford Explorer. The story with this was that the owner allowed it to idle for quite a while last winter. It ended up blowing a piston rod. I don't know, it ran it without oil, obviously. He thought that it overheated. It didn't overheat. He bought new heads for it, put new heads on it, tried to get it to run. It still wouldn't run, obviously, because it had a blown piston in it. And so they pulled the engine. Then they got kind of stumped on some stuff, brought it over here, to which now at this point, I take this hood off to show you, but it's cold and snowy right now. So at which point, obviously, as you can see, I've got that engine out, and I've got that engine ready to go, ready to put in there. And actually, the owner on this one has actually been helping me. They don't necessarily have the money to pay for a full engine swap, so they've kind of just been renting the space and whatnot and doing it under my supervision with the tools. The Jeep is in good condition. That's I'm making progress on that, moving forward on that. I've got the transmission underneath there, ready to go. Ready to go inside of there. I've got the flywheel installed. All I need to do is get the clutch installed, and I'll be in good shape there. The Nissan, this has been kind of a electrical mess. If you ever have any issues with a Nissan traction control system or a slip light going off and on and it running rough, give me a holler. I've been through this system now with a fine-tooth comb, and ultimately it boiled down to needing new ABS sensors and all that other good stuff. There's been some other sensors that we've changed out, like the NOx sensor and O2 sensors, and then it also had a real significant misfire, and that was cylinder number 6. So we went ahead and did a tune-up with new coils and plugs. The one thing that I got stumped on this one though are the tie rod ends. They're old and they need to be changed anyways because they have no grease. But we did try to avoid changing them, and as a result, I can't get this nut back on. It just twists in there, twist and turn. And sometimes what you can do is you can take like a jack or something and lift the suspension up and put this in a bind so that it doesn't turn. But this one is just so old and wore out that that's just not going to work. So I ordered new tie rod ends for this one so I can finish putting it back together and get this one out of my driveway. It's been here for quite a bit too. And then my biggest mistakes for the year that I'm finishing up are the yellow Nissan, which that's coming along quite nicely, and then the white Ford. And the white Ford just boils down to doing a job for an unheard of low price. So I'm just eating a lot of overhead on this one. Hey, look at that hawk. That's why I love working out here. So yeah, I just eat a lot of overhead on this one, and I need to order a cam tool so I could take that timing chain off right there, pull that camshaft out, and reinstall some lifters, because I made a little bit of a boo-boo there. No big deal. Just got one step ahead of myself on that one. And so yeah, I just got to go back and remove that cam and fix some lifters up, and then I'll have this out of here. Yay! So that's 1, 2, that's 3 jobs, 4 jobs that I just need to get out, get done. And then from that point on, some things will definitely change around here a little bit. And one of the things, one of the positive things that are going to change is that I'm going to put a lot more into YouTube. So those cars, those are just here for stores. These are my Mentors. We use them, we drive them, they work and run. As a matter of fact, that's the, if you watch my YouTube page, that's the Chevy starter that I pulled out and bench tested. It's got a bad solenoid on it, so we're going to get a new starter solenoid and replace that, do all that other good stuff. So I need to get back here and get some of this metal that I've got and then some of this junk hauled off. If you're in the Boise area, give me a holler, and I've got car doors and stuff that I can give you. You can haul off to the metal recyclers. So those are those cylinder heads off of that Ford out there. Like I said, they bought brand new cylinder heads and installed them and stuff, and obviously that's not what was wrong, so that didn't fix it. So they want to try to sell those used, and you know, I wouldn't be the first time that I've seen somebody sell some cylinder heads like that used. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do with that. But just to give you some information from my experience. So about 5-6 years ago was the last time that I've rebuilt a Jeep transmission, the NV3500. I don't know too much about the NV3550, but as far as the NV3500 goes, I've rebuilt actually 2 of those now. So I get this Jeep in, and it's got an NV3550, okay? And I'm thinking, not too complicated, you know, it has a cluster shaft and all those other beautiful parts inside. Let's get it rebuilt. Reason why we are rebuilding it is because the output bearing is just toast, completely chewed and whatnot. And so I opted to try to save some money and rebuild it. And turns out for the 04, 05 Jeep Wrangler, as far as the 5-speed transmission goes, you can't get the proper parts that you need. Some of them have been completely discontinued with no part numbers available for cross-referencing anymore whatsoever. And so, yeah, if I were you, I don't know. Obviously, somebody's rebuilding them, because I got a rebuilt one for $1,300 that came with a 12-month guarantee, tested, all that other good stuff. But that was quite expensive, if you ask me. And so yeah, I would just take your time. It took me 2 months to find a good rebuilt one that I trusted. Not to find one that was rebuilt. It took me a few weeks to find one that was rebuilt. Normally I can find them in a day when it comes to rebuilt transmissions, but to find one that I actually trusted when it came to a Jeep, it took me a while. So if you have a Jeep Wrangler and you've got a transmission that goes out, be patient with it and just take your time to find the good stuff out there. I don't think people are junking these. I don't think they're putting them in junkyards. And so, yeah, finding certain parts for this thing has not been fun at all. So just some Jeep information for you there. I'll tell you one thing I need to do. I need to go and start making another tool purchase. I didn't make a tool purchase this past year, and now that it's towards the end of the year, I'm starting to feel it a little bit. Tools have broke throughout the year or have worn out that I use a lot, and now it's starting to cause problems. So I think in the next couple of months here, I'll end up making a large tool purchase. This is most of my sockets. This is most of my fittings and bits, Torx bits and hex head bits for European vehicles and whatnot. I've got another set in the drawers over there, and impact sockets. Those are for Audi and VW cylinder heads. If you're gonna work on European cars, you can't live without some of this stuff here. And then, of course, it's interesting. I do have standard socket sets, but I use metric on just about everything and anything nowadays. So I have a ton of different metric sockets and whatnot, and few different sets of ratchets, 1/2-inch drive, 3/8 drive, 1/4-inch drive, stuff like that. Nothing too fancy. And then I personally don't keep a big box in here. I don't know, maybe one day I will get a big box. I've been working like this for a while. I've owned a couple boxes and sold them. Right now, just working out of my garage though. I'm pretty happy without a big box. Main reason, I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose now though, because I'm super live on YouTube. But you know, if you're walking by here and you happen to peek in my garage, it doesn't look like there's a bunch of tools and stuff in here, so it kind of keeps it, you know, to me, I think it keeps it safe. There's not a big $1,000 box that people can eye and look at and see that there's a whole ton of tools. So I'm pretty happy with the setup that I have. My top drawer is like specialty tools. We got my Dremel, got my stethoscope for listening to engines internally. I've got my solder stuff in here, my electrical testing equipment, my test light and stuff like that. Gloves, again, electrical testing equipment, solder gun, razors, quick disconnects, you know, just little simple stuff that I've got in there. Then in here I've got my timing lights and my kits, my specialty kits, like for that stupid thing, that Ford Expedition 5.4 liter Triton. Well, any 5.4 liter Triton that busts a spark plug, something I'll hardly ever use. Noid lights. You can't live without Noid lights for diagnostics, testing, fuel injectors and whatnot. And actually, I've used these to test other things as well, not just fuel injectors. All you need is 12 volts to get that light to flash on and off. Impact punch. I actually have a couple of these. This is just my nicer one in a box and stuff. And then a micrometer. Keep all my heavy hammers, pry bars, anything like that. Breaker bars, heavy torque wrenches, keep all that in there. And then any air tools that I have, I keep in my bottom drawer. And as far as my air tools go, I would like to use air ratchets and other stuff like that, but you know, I'm working in my neighborhood and I just want to have respect for my neighbors and everybody. So yeah, I don't normally run air guns all the time. When I do run air guns, I only use it to like break off crankshaft bolts and stuff like that. And I try not to do it anytime before 9 or 10 o'clock. So I try to have respect for my neighbors there, do that stuff, whatnot. But yeah, and you know, I mean, and I have other specialty tools hidden around here, like this awesome chain wrench. Boy, this has helped me get crankshaft bolts off, and harmonic balancers, hold them in place, and whatnot, and all that other stuff. And now, altogether, I've actually got 18 to 20 years. I think it's actually right at 18 years experience in the automotive repair industry, mechanical, electromechanical, diagnostics, repair, all that other good stuff. But I've always kept a mentor. I've always worked under somebody that was the exception to me and learned from them. And so I've got a mentor now here in Boise. His name is Jim Weaver. Great man, 50-year experienced technician. Actually, he's a degreed electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, automotive engineer. I mean, you name it, he's got it across the board. And he owned a shop for about 35 years. So I talk to him on a regular basis, actually on a daily basis, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And he's really the one that kind of guides me and teaches me stuff. And when I met him 4 years ago, I was a great R&R guy. I was a great diagnostics guy. I could tell you what was broke, and I could tell you what needed to be changed and how much it was going to be, but that's about it. So I could take it off and put it on, but my current mentor is taking me to the next level where I can tell you why it's broke, how it's broke, where it's broke, what's inside of it that's broke, how to fix it, take it apart, put it back together, all that other kind of stuff. And so I really appreciate him for taking me to that level and stuff. He's the one that showed me how to take capacitors and other components off of motherboards, replace them, and repair motherboards, and just all kinds of stuff like that. So well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and end this live feed. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I think I'm going to make a schedule and probably maybe shoot for Friday afternoon for live feed, question and answers, and just to kind of keep everybody up to date on what's going on around here and what I'm working on and how things are going for me and all that other good stuff. So, all right, well, thanks for hanging out and stopping by. This is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. I am signing off. I got to figure out what button to press here.